Timelines, Timelines, Timelines by Kelly Boswell. What is a timeline? A timeline is a chart that tells a story. It shows a set of events and in what order they happened. It also shows how much time passed between each event, like common toys. 1800s we had the top. 1900s we had the yo-yo. And then in 2000 we had the Wii. You can make a timeline of events from long ago, or you can make a timeline of what happens every day. Picture timelines. Dion wants to make a timeline of his day. He asks his dad to take a picture of each thing he does. Dion wakes up, eats breakfast, gets dressed, and goes to school. When Dion gets home, he has a snack and plays outside. Then it is time for dinner, homework, brushing his teeth, and bed. What a busy day. Dion looks at his pictures. He draws a line that stands for time. He puts the pictures in the order that the events happened. Waking up comes first. Wake up 7 a.m. Go to school 8:30. Play with brother after school 3:30. Homework after dinner 7 o'clock. Brush teeth 8:15. Bedtime 8:30. Going to bed comes last. He writes times below each picture to show when each event happened. Now Dion can see his whole day. Vertical timelines. Anna and her mom have a timeline to keep track of the special things that Anna has done. Anna is growing up. She can ride a bike and tie her shoes. A vertical timeline goes up and down. Anna's timeline begins at the bottom. When she was a baby, each year the timeline gets taller, just like Anna. Anna's mom writes the date next to the words that tell what Anna did. The timeline helps them remember these important events. Horizontal timelines. Anna and her friends were all born in the same year. They find their birthdays on the calendar. Jay's birthday is in September, Lucia's is in May, and Sarah was born in June. Anna's birthday is in March. Who is the oldest? Let's use a timeline to find out. We put the months in a horizontal line, which goes sideways. January is the first month of the year. December comes last. The friends place their names below their birthday month. Anna is the oldest. Who is the youngest? Circle timelines. It is time for a field trip. Mr. Smith's class takes a bus to the apple orchard. The students pick apples, ride in a hay wagon, and bob for apples. After a picnic lunch, they ride the bus back to school. The students make a circle timeline to tell about their trip. A circle timeline shows a journey that ends in the same place it began. Start, see the bus. Then they go to the orchard, they have their hay ride. The field trip timeline begins and ends at school. The rest of the circle shows all the things the children did in between. Bobbing for apples, eat, and then they end back up at school. Map timelines. We can also use a map to make a timeline of the field trip. This map shows when and where each event happened. 10 o'clock bus, 11:30 apple bobbing, 11:45 picnic, and 12:15 bus. 10:15 picking apples, 11 o'clock hayride. What time was the picnic? 11:45. Airplane pilots use timelines to stay on track. John's family flew from New York to Florida. A map timeline shows the route they took and where they were at each hour. We can travel across the country in a few hours on an airplane. So they started in New York at 12 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, they were over Virginia. At 2 o'clock, they were over South Carolina. And at 3 o'clock, they were in Florida. Tabletop timelines. Long ago, there were no jet planes. People found other ways to fly. This tabletop timeline uses objects to show how flying has changed over many years. In 1783, a hot air balloon was used. In 1903, an airplane. In 1970, a jumbo jet. In 1981, a space shuttle. What do you think the next way to fly will be? Living timelines. Let's make a living timeline. What order would you put these items in to make a timeline, or for the bean sprouts? Which would be first? Which would be second? Finger trace each picture to a box to show their order. Which would be last? There are many ways to make a timeline. You can take photos or draw pictures. You can use words. You can go up, across, or in a circle. You can even make a living timeline with your friends.